Okay, let us proceed with that recovery. So the last session already we started off our discussion on the recovery process, recovery of HANA database. So when you want to perform this database recovery, as I told you, basically there are three procedures, or you say three options are available for you. One of the option is the first one is recovering the database to its most recent state. The second option is a point in time. You specify date and time. And the third one is recover the database to a specific data backup or store a snapshot. So look at this. All these three are explained in a simple way here. So if you go with this first option, that is until latest point in time, which we also call it as recovering the database to its most recent state. So you can see that it's basically represented with A here. So what actually does is, as is mentioned here, it uses the latest available data backup. So when you say data backup, remember that it's not just about a complete data backup or a full data backup. So along with that, you also have the incremental and differential. In case if you have those incremental and differential backups, if you want to use them, which is highly recommended, so then system uses that complete data backup. And then when we have differential and incremental, always the priority will be given for differential first. So obviously this differential will be used, and then these incremental backups will be used. So that's what the meaning of uses the latest available data backup. Plus all log backups since the latest data backup. So this is the latest data backup you have, incremental. After that, what are the log backups we have? These black color ones. So those log backups will be used. And not only that, all log entries that are still available in the log area. So in case if that log area is not destroyed by the crash, and then there is also a possibility that it will replay the log entries in the log area. But that's not guaranteed. So in case it's still readable, accessible, then you have that option. In fact, system will ask you whether you want to initialize the log area or not. If you don't initialize, you will be able to replay those log entries from the log area, so that you will be able to recover the database till the last computer transaction. Till the last computer transaction. So that's the possibility we are speaking about. And by chance, if it's crashed, you'll be able to recover the database till the last log backup available. So that's the first option here. And then you have until specified point in time in the past. Suppose this point in time you specify, the same way uses the last data backup before the specified point in time. So this complete backup, this differential, this incremental will be used, and then the log backups, log entries from the log backup between the data backup and specified point in time will be used for the recovery. And third one is you don't specify any particular time as such, but you have already taken a complete data backup and just using that you want to do the recovery. So only that data we have in that the complete data backup will be recovered. So that if you want to do, you use that specified data backup. But remember, the specified data backup means only a complete data backup, full data backup. So after that, whatever the log entries you have in the log area will be deleted because it doesn't make any sense having the data there. And no log replay happens there. So that's why when we choose this third option, automatically log will be cleared. Automatically log clearance will be done by the system itself. So basically these are the three options you have. And if you look at this, typically if you go with say option A, that first option, recover the database to its most recent state. So there are basically three phases of recovery: a data recovery, where it uses the full backup and delta backups if applicable. The second one, log replay, where log backups will be used for recovery, as well as, if applicable, that log entries from the log area will be replayed. And third phase is restart. So these are the three phases you have. So in case if your recovery fails, in the older versions, in case if your recovery fails, you have to start recovering again. You have to start the entire recovery process. But whereas in the new versions, right from SPS 11 onwards, you have a possibility of resuming the recovery in case if recovery fails, but that is possible only when the recovery fails in phase 2. So you can read this. If a recovery fails during log replay, HANA can resume the recovery. Okay, so let us see how this recovery happens. I'm just taking one database here. Go to backup and recovery. Click on recovered system. They're using the personal passwords. Don't use any personal passwords. I told you many times. Okay. So it's preparing the recovery wizard. You can see that database must be offline before your recovery starts. So these are the three options we have. The recover the database to its most recent state point in time and recover the database to a specific data backup. Okay, let us try that first one. Let us see what are those options we have. So I'm choosing the recover the database to its most recent state. Click on next. So then it's giving two options to you, two radio buttons. So recover using the backup catalog. And the second option we have is recover without backup catalog. Anyhow, recover without backup catalog you won't be using in this case. that should be used in the case of DB copy or a DB refresh. So there you can use this recover without backup catalog. So when it's the same database backup you're using for recovery here, so you should go with this first option, recover using the backup catalog. We know that if you remember, I explained you when we have discussed about backup and we have seen how to do that backup practically. Whenever you take a backup, and the system is writing that information to that backup catalog table. There's a backup catalog table where we have all this information written to. Now, what we are saying here is we want to select the backup from that catalog. But backup catalog is a table actually. Now, here comes the question when backup catalog is a table, how can you read the data from the table when your database is shut down? Because when you started this recovery process, your database is shut down already. So there's no way you'll be able to read the data from the database table. So the point what you need to remember here is remember that your backup catalog information, not only writing in the data into the table, it also writes that backup catalog into the file system. Backup information that catalog is written to the file system. So where is exactly located? So default, the backup catalog is available in this location. It's available in the location of your log backups. Log backup default location, the instance directory /backup/log. There you have this backup catalog. So now what system does is it will read that backup catalog available at that file system, and it will show you the list of complete data backups available. So that's why when you click on next here, it will search for that all the full data backups or complete data backups. So it's showing that fetching backup catalog. So a lot of backups are available there. Whichever the backup you want to use, you just choose that. Select the backup. So always the top one will take shortest recovery time. So if you select that backup, it's showing all the details, including your location, prefix, all the details here, the details of the selected item. But before start doing recovery using this backup, what you need to verify is whether these backup files are available in that location or not. In this the backup location. Sometimes it may happen that suppose when we are taking backup, you specified one destination and you have completed the backup. After some time, because of some space issues at that location, backup location, you might have moved those files to a different location, and that all happened at the file system level, which is unknown to the database. So that information your database doesn't have. So in such cases, if you continue the recovery, you don't find those files there because they're already moved to a different location. That's why it's always better you check the availability of the backup files there. So select the backup and click on check availability. No, it's not proper backup. Let us check this one. No, these are not properly taken. So this is completely wrong. If you observe here, all this was recorded with a different SID when they've done it. That's why it's throwing that error. Just let me check. Is that the real case or not? Now, when sometimes what happens, as I told you, they may move these files to the different path, and that you can give it as an alternative location here, like this. So what is showing here? That backup is available in alternative location, because the path what we have recorded here in the catalog is different from this. That's why. So it will consider that as moved backup files. Just click on next. So once we have the data backup, then it's asking for location of the log backup. So specify the log backup path. If this is the one, then click on next. It's very important to have files in the right places. I'm not sure is this proper backup or not. Anyhow, we'll try. So then it's asking for some other settings. So in that, the first one is check availability of delta and log backups. So it's always better you check for the availability of the backups before you use them, because otherwise the problem is you started doing recovery first, and then while the recovery is happening, at somewhere in the middle, system found that one of the backup file is missing. Then it's a waste of time for you. So even before recovery starts, you verify whether your backup files are available or not. So that's why this check availability of delta and log backups you have, maybe a file system or maybe a third party tool in case if you're using backend. So see, initializing log area is there, as I mentioned, replaying of the log entries in the log area, the most recent transactions after the last log backup. Whether you want that data or not, you want to replay it or not, you can decide. If you check this checkbox, what are the recent entries you have in that log area will be removed, will be cleared. So in case if you don't want to recover those log segments in the log area, then you can choose this option. Or else if your requirement is you want to recover the database till the last committed transaction, don't check that checkbox. So if your log area is readable, system will try to recover that data also. Then using Delta backups, as I told you, it's a highly recommended option, the differential incremental. So only thing you can tell the system is use the Delta backups. You can't say that use this Delta backup, that Delta backup like that. The system will automatically uses the Delta backups available. But If you have both incremental and differential, always the first priority is differential, then only incremental. Because ultimately, at the end, it's about reducing the time taken for recovery. So then installing license key is not required here because it's the same database. If it's a different database, definitely you need to install license key. That can be done now or it can be done after the installation is completed. I mean the recovery is completed. Then click on next. So you have a SQL statement here. You just look into that. We'll discuss on this purpose of this SQL statement later on. And now click on finish. See, that's the problem. That's not actually backup of this database at all. There's nothing we can do. It can't be used. This is not at all related to this. Just a minute. Okay, I'll show you this. So we'll try on this. I'll show you because I have a lot of backups available here. Proper backups. You observe that right bottom corner, it will show you that preparing recovery wizard. Now wizard is ready. Next. Yes. I have so many. I'm just using the latest one here. Check availability. Still checking, which you can observe on the right bottom corner. And now you can see that it is showing that green dot here, meaning of that is available in the original location. You can just select it, click on next. Select your logback path. So all these options already explained here. Click on next, finish. So you can see that there will be three phases of recovery here. So it's taking time. You just need to wait because there is some other process running on the same host. That's why. Now you can see that data recovery started. That's a phase one. Don't get confused. Normally, default database will have only three services. I have one more DP server enabled for some specific purpose. That's why showing that additionally. But when you people are practicing, there may be only three. So your data recovery is almost done. Now the log recovery starts. See that? See, intentionally what I'm doing here is I'm just canceling it. Let us see. Because as per that statement given there, if recovery fails in phase two, that is log recovery phase, you'll be able to resume the recovery. Let us see whether we get that option or not. So that's not something what we do. System should give you that option automatically. So I'm starting the new recovery again. Same things. See that option, the first one. So that system itself will give you automatically. The resume option. So you just select it and continue. So it's not doing any data recovery here, just checking that what happened. Now directly log recovery started. See the phase two. And once that is completed, phase three restart. So that's restart. So that's completed, and you can see that four volumes recovered, recover time. And this log position, it's giving recover to so and so log position. Just remember that point. So I'm going to explain you one advanced option you're going to have coming next tomorrow. We'll discuss on that. What is the significance of that? So record a log position so and so. Yes, I show you that. It said your database recovered successfully, up to date. So the first option, second option, same. The most recent state, point in time. Only difference is most recent state. If you go with, as I shown you, that SQL statement also will show you that it will take the current date and time, and it's doing recovery. The second option, if you go with, you specify date and time in the past. That's it. That's the only difference you have. But whereas if you go with the third option, you're just speaking about recovering the database using a specific data backup, only, a selected complete data backup only, like this. So once you come to this screen, just select this option, recover the database to a specific data backup. Snapshots, another example I'll show you. The next class we'll see that. So just choose that recover the database to a specific data backup. Click on next. So if it's same database using the backup catalog, if it's a different database without backup catalog. Because when you go with the DB copy, you take a backup of DB1 and do recovery on DB2. So in such cases, you need to go with that option, recover without backup catalog. So here it is the same database, so I'm using recover using the backup catalog. Click on next. It'll show you all the list of complete data backups available in that catalog. So whichever the complete data backup you want to use, just select that, check the availability. Now in this case, no concept of delta backups, no concept of using log backups. So once it's available, click on next. So it's not asking for any log backups if you observe. It doesn't use. We want to recover the database to a specific data backup only. And that too, you see that log area is initialized. So meaning of that is log entries from that log area will be deleted. And no concept of using delta backups. See, that's disabled. So as I mentioned, installing the license key. If it's a database, different database, then only. Otherwise, not needed. That's it. Click on next. So showing the details, you have SQL statement here. No concept of date and times here. It just uses the data backup and do the recovery. You just click on finish, recovery will be completed. Okay. Yeah, I'm not just repeating that because just now we recovered the database. So same way you use these data backups and do the recovery. So that's another thing. And one more thing, if you look at this, there is one advanced option when we are doing this recovery. There is one advanced option. There is an advanced button in that recovery wizard. I'll tell you what is the significance of that advanced option. This one. See, to understand that, look at this. Earlier, when we are discussing about the recovery, when we have done the recovery, system is showing a message saying that your recovery completed, recovered till so and so log position. Right? Look at this. So I have my log backups here. If you look at the log backups here, So many are there. Go to your log backup of your index server. Index server is the one which is the most important of all. Now, look at this. This 2 and 3 you have index server access engine, and 4 is that I have that DP server. It's a different thing. Now look at this. What is showing? It's showing log backup underscore this 2. This represents volume ID. We know the volume IDs. Like I shown you earlier also, the volume IDs when we have taken backups. So that volume IDs, and here these numbers you observe carefully. Underscore 0, after that underscore some numbers you have there. For example, you take this 234295744. If you observe carefully, the same number is here, 234295744. Similarly, this number you take 234397888. 234397888. Like that. This is 2345. This is 2346. 234748, like this. There is some ascending order, you can see that, but it's not an exact sequence. What it basically will tell you is these are basically called log positions. Sometimes what happens when the recovery is performed, one of the log backup file is corrupted. Say this file is corrupted. So system has started doing recovery. So till 234617088, it's able to recover till that file, but this file is something wrong. So then you'll get an error message saying that your recovery failed at log position 234719424. So it will throw you that error message because this particular file corrupted, it's not readable because of the reason. So it will give you a clear message, recovery failed at so and so log position for volume ID 2. So even you try it one more time, same error. A number of times you try, same error, because that's basically a problem with the file. So if this file is missing, there's no way other files can be used. If this itself is missing, the system cannot recover the data in the next file because there won't be any consistency there. The only possibility you have there is, as it's throwing an error saying that so and so log position 234719424 is having a recovery failed at that log position, you can try to recover the database till the previous log position, that is 234617088. So if you specify that this file will be used till this file recovery will be performed. How to specify that option? So in such cases, you simply click on this advanced, see this option, recover the database till whatever that log position is possible there, and volume ID, say volume ID 2. That's it. Log position, as I mentioned, because one log position is giving an error means you should try the previous log position so that the previous file will be used. Till that time, definitely recovery will be completed. So remember that this option should be used only when the recovery fails. Only when recovery fails. With that message saying that recovery failed at so and so log position for a particular volume. That usually happens because of the backup file is corrupted. In such cases, use this by specifying the volume ID and the log position ID. and then your recovery will be completed. Otherwise, there's no way your recovery process completes. Without completing the recovery process, database cannot be started at all. So you can't use the database anymore. So that's one advanced option you have there. Okay, so these are some of the things. You try out these options. Tomorrow I'll explain you how we can do recovery using snapshots and how to do a DB copy or a DB refresh. That example I'll show you, and I'll explain you what is the significance of that SQL statement is, why they given that, what's the need of that SQL statement. Okay, so those things we'll discuss in tomorrow's session. We'll continue tomorrow.